Hey everybody, welcome. It's Timmy here with Chalk Couture. Great to have you here with me today. Hey there. If you're watching me on the replay, welcome. If you're just joining in live, welcome to you as well. I'm Timmy and I am a Chalk Couture designer and mentor, coming to you a little bit earlier than I normally do today. It's just about 6:30 here on the East Coast, and I'm coming to you a little early because we're doing a project that might take us a little bit longer today, and I confess I am a huge Survivor fan, and Survivor is starting at 8 o'clock tonight, and I promised my hubby I'd watch it with him. So that's my real truth. But I am super excited to come to you live and share with you one of our brand new chalk stories called The Bee's Knees. So if you want to stay tuned and see how we can make a beautiful a beautiful banner with these designs from the Bee's Knees collection, stay tuned because we are going to ink it up and have lots of fun in the process. So if you're joining in, be sure to say hi. Always love to hear that you are with me and you're watching. I'm just going to take a quick minute here and make sure that I post this live to my VIP group. If you're curious about what my VIP group is all about, that is a special group that I offer just for my chalking enthusiasts. If you're loving what you're seeing and you want to keep up to date about all the great stuff that's coming out, have access to some awesome specials, then you want to become a VIPer. So all you need to do to be a VIPer is you can actually see the group link on my page, but if you can't find it or want me to add you, just go ahead and type VIP in the comment section and I will be sure to hook you up. So I'm just going to take here a quick minute and, as I said, share this over into my VIP group, so those of my peeps that like to watch me there will be able to. So we'll go ahead and do that. And while I'm doing that, if you're just joining in, definitely be sure to say hi. I'd love it if when you join, whether it's live or on the replay, that you like and share my page. I would appreciate that greatly. We're getting really close to 500 likes on my Chalk Couture business page, which I'm super excited about because that means some awesome giveaways are about to happen. So if you'd like some of this great stuff that I'm showing you tonight, and you want an opportunity to win some for free, help me get to 500 likes and we will be giving away lots of great stuff. Now, of course, as a VIP, you're always getting access to some specials and giveaways, happy mail, that kind of stuff from me. So be sure to be checking that out because I will have some great things for you. Now, if you're not a designer yet, I would love it if you would take a minute and share my page. That way others that are watching your feed will be able to learn a little bit about what it is we're doing. And if you think that there's someone that would be interested in keeping an eye out on these great product offerings, then feel free to tag them and let them know that we're live and they can watch. I see Cindy is here with us, so Cindy, welcome. Nice to see you. And we'll give folks here just a minute to come in and say hi. Oh, I love the little hand. Little hand, hello. And while I'm just thinking of it here before we just dive right into everything, I just want to put my Chalk Couture website here for you. In case you see something that you must have, you'll know where to go to order it. I do have a website. You can order 24/7 and it'll get shipped directly to you. So any of these great transfers or inks or surfaces that we're using tonight, if they catch your fancy, just feel free to go ahead and jump on and order them and they'll be shipped right to your door. If you think this looks like fun and you want to know more about being a Chalk Couture designer, be sure to check in with me. I have a wonderful team that I'm super happy to have the opportunity to work with, and I would love to be able to add you to my team as well. So I'm just going to take a minute here, and I want to move over, let's see. I'm going to change our view here a little bit. So instead of seeing all of me, you're actually going to see our project, because that's what this is all about today, is seeing the project. So very good. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's awesome, awesome, awesome to have you here. So today, as I said, we are going to be working on creating a banner using our Couture inks. You may have not had an opportunity to see my inks in use. I haven't done them very often, and I'm super excited to be able to pull them out and create a brand new, sorry, I didn't realize you actually saw my hand in all of that. I apologize. Going to do a brand new banner using this Chalk Stories collection. So what is a Chalk Story, you're asking? Well, this season we came out with kind of themed transfers that you can purchase individually or as part of an overall story. And what that allows you to be able to do is mix and match the different transfers that oops, sorry, let's fix that again. There we go. What that allows you to be able to do is mix and match the different elements on the transfers to create your own unique design. So we are going to show you the different transfers that are made up with this Chalk Story. And again, this is called the Bee's Knees collection. And this one is the beehive. So we've got a big, giant beehive, which we're definitely going to use. And some cute little swirlies where our bee is buzzing, and of course a little bee. What would be complete in the Bee's Knees collection without a bee? We are also having this Sweeter Than Honey transfer. This is a size B transfer, $14.99. A couple of more bees that you'll see here. The word Sweeter Than Honey, Honey Bee Farms, and established. So super cute farmhouse decor feel. If you like that, you would love that transfer. And then this one is our Bee's Knees collection as well, and it's Home is Where Your Honey Is. So great sentiment, lots of fun. And this, by the way, is great on its own on one of our oblong box frames, but it's also going to be really fun to add in elements from this, I think, into our banner. So we've got some honeycomb options, a little wreath, which is cute, and of course a jar of honey. And what are those honey wands called? Does anybody know what those are called? I don't know what those are called, but anyway, one of those little things that you stick in the honey, which I'm never sure I get really quite right. What we're going to be inking on is our banner. And this season, our banner, a canvas banner, comes in two sizes. This is a 15 by 23, so 15 wide and 23 long. We also have an extra long one. This is actually one of the refills that you can buy. If you buy the banner already put together, what you will get is these two ends that will allow us to be able to hold our banner in place, and they are magnetic. So those are super cool. What it'll allow you to be able to do is change out your banner seasonally if you want. So we have a great refill pack, which is a deal. 2 for $9.99, I believe the price is. Or you can purchase the initial banner for $19.99, and so you'll get the banner plus the two ends to be able to hang your banner. So that, and then we just put this one on the end. But we don't want to use that quite yet because we need to design this banner first. So we need to figure out what's going on it, which elements are going on, and what ink colors we're going to be using. Now the other thing you'll see here on my desk is an ink mat. And these ink mats are awesome because, one, they will make sure that you don't stain the surface that you're working on, because we are working with permanent ink. The other thing it'll do is it's got an adhesive, so it'll help smooth out the surface of your fabric and get rid of any wrinkles. So if you want, you can certainly take a minute to iron this or use your heat press to get the wrinkles out. But I think, and you know what, I'm not going all the way to the top, so I'm going to actually reposition this a little because we have to make room for our, as we know, the little magnetic strip. So let me reposition that and press out any wrinkles here I can onto my ink mat. So notice I'm just giving it a good press down, making sure there are no air bubbles, just kind of like what we normally do with our transfer, and smooth out any of these wrinkles. So this is going to protect our surface, and it's going to keep this fabric nice and still so it won't move around on us when we are adding our ink to it. Now, for those of you that are new, you might not be familiar with our couture inks. You probably have heard me talk about our chalk paste. Our couture inks, like our Chalkology paste, comes in 3-ounce containers. The ink is just $1 more than the chalk paste, so you can get these for $13.99. This little guy here, by the way, he is copper, and I think I might want the copper out, and I don't have one in the big jar. We used to sell them in these smaller sizes, but they're no longer available, so just so you know that. Got a couple of colors here because I haven't quite decided what I'm doing yet. I have the copper, I have some Bumblebee, certainly appropriate. I have meadow green, which is awfully pretty. I have this storm, and then of course I have black. So we could be pretty simple and do black and yellow, definitely very bee-like colors. But I'm kind of drawn to this storm, and I kind of might like to let the storm and the yellow work together and maybe add in a little bit of elements of the copper. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm going to leave those off to the side in case I get inspired to do something different. So now, of course, the big thing is what's going where. Well, I absolutely know that what I want to have in the center of my banner is this darling hive. So I think that's going to be the centerpiece of my banner. So let's open this up and start working with it. So for those of you that are new or watching me for the first time, these are silk screen transfers that have an adhesive back. So just kind of like our ink mat that we were just talking about, our transfers too have an adhesive on the back. And it, just like the ink mat, it helps keep the transfer from moving around on you. So I'm just removing that from the package. And I realize I'm packing up for a show that I have tomorrow. And I packed my scissors, so excuse me while I walked away to go grab them. I am going to use these lines here. These are what we call cut lines. And this is going to allow me to cut up this transfer and just use the pieces that I want. So if you get a transfer like this and it has these little fine white lines, what that indicates is that it's a cut line, and you can cut up your transfer to make it work for you and make it a little bit more manageable. So you can use these individual guys, and that's super easy. So we've got the bee, and then of course we've got this cute darling little I'm traveling, buzzing along type scenario. And then we've got this great big hive, and this hive is just gorgeous, super detailed, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to add to our banner. Now the key thing is, where is it going to go and how am I going to fit it on? This is a pretty good size guy, and I think my ink pad is big enough to accommodate it. Now, one of the things that I find is when I'm working on a transfer that's large like this, it's a good idea to grab a Sharpie and just write on the back what this is. So this is a beehive. That way, when I finish using this transfer and I've washed it off with water, I just dropped my pen on the ground, did you hear that? I can put this right back on the transfer sheet to protect it so that I can use it over and over again. That's one of the great things about our transfers, is that they are reusable. You can reuse them about 8 to 10 times, and they can go on pretty much any surface. Today we're working on our canvas banner here, but you can put our transfers on chalkboards, on wood, on fabric, like we're doing here. You can even put it on painted furniture or walls. So really, the opportunities are endless in terms of how you can utilize these transfers, which is super cool. Now, when we're working on a chalkboard surface, I would have told you that you want to take a minute to fuzz your transfer. We don't need to worry about fuzzing our transfer because we're putting it down on a fabric surface. So it is not going to be difficult to pull this up off the surface when we're done with it. So what I'm going to do is just take a minute here and make sure that this has a really good adherence to my surface. And if I think there is an air bubble or that it's not quite uneven, I can just lift it up, smooth it out, and put it back down. So I'm just giving this a good press with my hands initially, kind of keeping an eye out to make sure that it is firmly adhered everywhere that I want it to be. I'm seeing a little bit here of the the wrinkle that I had in my banner because I didn't take the time to iron it or press it ahead of time. So I just want to make sure that it's that I see and not an air bubble. Because if we have an air bubble, we're not going to get a really nice clean line that we want. So there we go. We have added that onto our canvas banner. And I am going to grab, right behind me, I am going to grab my 4-inch handled squeegee, and I am just going to pull the squeegee while it's dry with nothing on it across the surface of the screen, just to make sure I've got a really good, aha, I hear an air bubble. So that little noise I just heard indicated there was an air bubble on my transfer. That means that I would have had not a perfect adherence and would have had some bleed through. So we want to make sure that that is not the case. The only areas we need to be concerned about is this screen area. And I think we've got it set where we want it. Now, I want to see what color we're going to do here. Should we do this bright yellow? What do you think? I think I'm feeling bright yellow and springy, so I'm going to say yes, we're going for the bright yellow. So our couture inks are a little bit different than our Chalkology paste in that if you've watched me before, I've always mentioned that you want to move fairly quickly when you're utilizing our inks, with our chalks, because it's going to dry as you are working. Our inks, you don't have that problem. So it's kind of one of the nice things to utilize. Notice that I'm putting a little bit of ink at the top onto the green area, which is not the screen. The reason why I'm doing that is I'm going to pull the ink down. Oh, I thought I got all those air bubbles and I just heard another little, so I must have missed something, which means I'm going to have a little air pocket there that I'm going to have to deal with. All right, we're just going to move right along and pray that it behaves itself. Now, I like to put a little ink above and pull it down and only work in one direction when I'm working with ink. That's so that I don't get any bleed through. And I want to be a little lighter handed just again so that I don't have so much that there is going to be bleed where I don't want it. Definitely, I probably should have taken a moment here to iron. I was being lazy. See what happens when you're lazy? You get air bubbles. Air bubbles. And how do I know I have air bubbles? Well, I can hear them as I'm pulling the squeegee across the screen. But like many things, I don't let that kind of stuff stress me out, because there's a lot of different ways that we can add in some other elements, and we've got some great elements to add to this whole banner, that if I have one area that's maybe a little smudgy, I am not going to lose sleep over it. And I don't want you to either. This is probably one of the most relaxing and fun DIY projects I have ever had the pleasure of learning how to do. And I want you to feel the same way about it. So don't stress, take it easy, relax, and enjoy. And once we really reveal the design, you're going to be so amazed, as I am every single time I pull up the design. Now, because this is fabric, it's soaking up a decent amount of ink, so don't be surprised that you need to use quite a bit, especially when it is a large transfer area where there's a lot of screen here to cover. Don't be surprised at all. Just make sure that you get all of the screen area covered. So if you have to go back over it a little bit because you see a little white peeking through, do it. Not going to hurt anything to go back over it. And if you miss a spot, you can always lay this back over and do it again. Or you can kind of let it be rusticy looking, which is also really in part and parcel with what we offer. So don't worry if it's not totally perfect. I know, easier said than done for those of you that are type A personalities like I am. But I try not to let it really bother me. So I encourage you to think about not letting it really bother you. The one thing I would say is just be careful that you don't go beyond the green area, because if you do, you will get ink in areas you do not want it. And once it's on this fabric, although it isn't permanent until we heat set it, it's going to be awfully hard to clean it if we get it in an area we don't want. So try to make sure that you keep your ink on your silk screen area and don't go off past the green areas. So there we go. Now here comes the best part. So this is Bumblebee, for those of you that were wondering and watching. And as I said, the fun part, we're going to peel and reveal the design. So as I started to peel, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it didn't quite get a lot of ink in there. And as I said, you can kind of leave it rusticy if you'd like, or you can, as you're pulling it over, just take a peek and give it a little extra ink to fill it in. So we're gonna pull this up, and again, just slowly peel back to see if there's some areas that maybe need a little going over. And I see another little area over here, so I'm just going to take a smaller squeegee and fill in some of those areas. Perfect. Look at that. How cute. Beautiful. Whoop. I'm stuck on my desk here with my transfer. Now, I do have a little water bath over here, but this transfer is pretty large. So instead of washing it right away, I'm just going to stick it here on the corner of my desk. Make sure it's out of the way so that I don't mistakenly bump into it. And I'm just going to move this here a little bit up so that you can see what we've done so far. Whoops. I also threw these other transfers here on the ground and rolled over with them with my chair, so that's not good. Now, I'm going to just take a minute here and put this transfer, instead of sticking to the corner of my desk and me getting it all over me by accident, I'm actually just going to put it right back onto the backer sheet. Even though I haven't cleaned it yet, it's no biggie. It's just going to help protect it until I get it to the water bath. So there we go. We don't need that anymore, so we're going to definitely put that off to the side. So I'm loving this bright yellow. The sample I saw that someone did had really used the gold, and I think that I just kind of like this bright yellow. It is fitting for bumblebees, don't you think? All right. Now, we want to wait a little bit before it is that we start adding layers on top of this. We can give it a little blast with our heat gun, and that will help hurry the drying process along. So let's do that. My cord was all twisted. Now, in order to make this permanent, what we'll actually do is either use our heat press and seal it with heat, or just use an iron with some parchment paper, and that will heat set this ink so that it'll be permanent and then ultimately washable. It's okay to move forward with this once it becomes kind of tacky. So it's not quite there yet, but we are not going to be layering over it right away. We are going to actually take the next element of our transfer set and start to get it ready to use. So we're going to use home is where your honey is. I'm going to put home is where your honey is down here, and then we'll add in maybe a little bit of honeycomb and a few bees, and maybe even use the Honeybee Farms at the top. I'm not sure. We'll have to figure that part out. So, hey Kathy, welcome. Thanks for joining. We're working on the Bee's Knees collection, and this is a super set. Now I'm just going to move this off here to the side so that while I'm cutting, I don't make a mess of things. And again, we're just going to take this transfer and we are going to cut along the cut lines and focus on the pieces we want to use. So I have to confess, it's been a little while since I have used our inks. I don't know why. It's taken me a while to get back to them. I kind of go in phases. And it's been a while since I've made a banner. Every time I make a banner and I bring it somewhere, somebody wants to buy it. So I know it's super popular. And I don't know why I don't make more of them, except that if you do know me, how I run my business is all about sharing the Chalk Couture love and our chalk products. I don't actually do a lot of selling of the things I make. I make them for myself personally, or I give them away as gifts, or even make them prizes for my team. So it always shocks me when I go somewhere and everyone is super excited about buying what I've created, because I just never think about that. So Lisa, when you heat set it with the iron, it should be a dry heat. You know, I have had a little steam when I've done it, but I would probably recommend that you try to keep it to not having much steam. Okay, that's what I have recommended and have found the company has also recommended. All right, so we've got our honeycomb, honey hive here back, and we're going to place our home is where the honey is next. And I need some help here, folks, because I haven't decided if I want to use black or if you think our storm gray will stand out enough. So what do you think? I need your advice. Or of course we could go with the green, which also would be really pretty with this bright yellow. But I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the black. I think I'm going to try it with our storm and kind of give it a little bit more of a rustic look. So same thing, I'm just going to use this squeegee here. Sorry, you're only seeing my arms up above there. It's because I'm standing while I'm doing this. And then, you know what, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put this bottom part down here as well. And this is Home is Where Your Honey Is. And again, we want to leave a little space here, so I'm going to overlap this just a tad. And make sure it's pressed down so we have no air bubbles. All right, I think we're good. All right, wish me luck here with this storm gray. Let's see if it's going to be as nice as I hope it's going to be. Now, of course, one of the things that you can do is you can mix our colors. So if I wanted this to be a little darker gray, I could mix it with the black. So instead of it being bright, kind of harsh black, but I don't want this to be this light, I can add a little black. And I'm kind of thinking that might be a good option. So let's give it a try. Kind of cool that you can mix the ink, so why not, right? So I'm going to take a little bit of this gray, put it off here to the side so I don't make a mess. Haha. Mess, that's me. And then I'm going to take our black velvet, grab another stirrer stick here, and add in some black. Not as much as I have of the gray. Just a little bit to start, I think. And I'm leaving that yellow open because we might want to go back to that with the bee. So that wasn't a lot of black. It definitely darkened it up a little. What do you think? Is that dark enough? Or should we add a little more? I just want to make sure that it's pretty well mixed. I think that's going to do it. I think that's good. So let's grab a squeegee and start at the top. I'm going to bring this down here. And you can save what you've made in another small container. So if you like that mixed color, you can use it again in another project if you don't use it all. And again, I like to go in one direction when I'm using the inks. It just helps a little bit less being bleeding. And I start with the ink on my squeegee and pull it down from the top. It's kind of nice actually to have this little paper plate here, or a little plastic plate, I guess is what it is. So I don't know if there's any Game of Thrones lovers out there, but I think the last time we were live, I was talking about how I needed to wrap up so that I could go watch Game of Thrones with my son. So if you're out there and you are a Game of Thrones fan, I would love to hear your thoughts about the first episode of the season. All right, that's it. I just want to make sure I don't have any ink on my hands. I don't. So I'm going to take this. Ah, yes. That was great. I love this darker gray. What do you think? I like that. I don't think I would have liked the black. I definitely like having that little bit of a darker gray. All right. And then let's go ahead and add it on to the bottom part as well. And Lisa, if you'd like, I can send you some instructions that Chalk Couture provides us about how to heat set projects when we use our couture inks. I'd be happy to send that to you, or I can even post it here after we finish with the live. I can post the PDF for you. And that way you can get the inside scoop best practices that Chalk Couture suggests. So cute already. I'm loving this. Adding a few little bees on here, maybe even the established. I've got all this extra at the top that I'm trying to get off and I'm not having any luck. I'm so used to being able to pull it off my jar. So don't be too gentle. You want to make sure that you're really getting the ink onto the fabric. As I said, it will soak it in a little. It is fabric, so use that squeegee to work the ink in. All right, I think we've got it pretty well set. Let's pull it up and see. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Oh, I'm loving the gray. I hope you're liking the gray. Yeah, Lisa, I'd be happy to send that to you, no problem. Or like I said, I'll add it right here to this page so everyone who's watching can see it as well. So there we go. We've got our home is where the honey is. And we have the sweeter than honey, a few small bees, and then this established. So what do you think? Should we put this established here at the bottom or maybe right here at the very top? I think it's time to put some bees in for sure. So let's open it up because there's some cute bees on here that we definitely want to play with. There's also some great honeycombs I think that we could add as well. So same thing, I'm just going to grab my scissors and we're going to cut Red Sox Yankees around. Downstairs I can hear the commentators of my family. So when it's, you'll know when it's time that it's okay to heat set, when it is that it becomes tacky to the touch. So if you're curious about, is it time, can I iron this, can I heat set it, just make sure that at the very least it's tacky to the touch. Once it's tacky, you can go ahead and do that. Now, these might be kind of cute offsetting a little in black. So I might do that. Before I do though, I'm going to move this over here just a sec. And I'm going to give this a little blast here to dry this up. Now, one of the things I'm super excited about was the last time I went to the craft store, I found some awesome Bumblebee ribbon. So although our holder here comes with a little rustic string, I think I am going to add on a bow to this and maybe even add in a little bit of burlap that I have. I have some beautiful burlap ribbon that's also in this gray that I think will look really nice there. So let's see, there's this cute little wreath. So many good things to use with this. I'm not sure exactly where to start. So I'm touching this. This seems like it's getting pretty tacky. It's not totally tacky yet, but pretty close. There's this cute little beehive. That'd be kind of cute to put on the end of the E maybe. I'm not sure if there's a place for that yet. And then of course we've got our bees, which are super cute. We've got this guy. Still I'm not sure if we should try to put him up here. Maybe we should. What do you think? Oh, you can't see that. So let me see if I bring him down here. Maybe we should put this here. And maybe that we do in black so it stands out a little. Our bees maybe could be in black. This little honey comb on the corner could be in yellow. Let's try that first. Let's put him over here and kind of have him rest over the E. We have our squeegee here still out, so we can use that. Plenty. Pull that up. Cute little honeycomb there. And I think we're going to do these bees. That'd be fun. I know these little ink projects take a little bit longer. And we're going a little bit longer than our normal lives do. So thanks for sticking it out with me. And I think I need, just a little dab of black. I think I'll do the trick for these bees. Cute. I think those guys stand right out. And they go. Cute, cute, cute. And then I think this little guy would be fun. You know what, before I use him though, let's make sure he's dry enough. Let's move this out of the way here. And I think the gray that we have pulled here would be fun for this little buzzing. Let's see, right about there I think will be good. And I think we're going to use this gray. Same thing though, I don't know that I need a big squeegee, so haha, my little multi-tool to the rescue. Just going to dip that into that darker gray we made. And spread that. Cute. I'm going to hold on to him for just a sec. Not sure if we're going to use this bigger. Maybe we will. Let's give it a try. And again, I'm going with the gray with this multi-tool. Good way to get all of that rubbed right in. Got a little extra here. I'm just going to try to rub that off. Perfect. And here we go. Cute. Very sweet. All right. I think we're probably getting pretty close to wrapping up. Maybe the last thing that we're going to do is put in this top part. And then I think it'll be a wrap. Give it a good press down. And I think we'll do this Honeybee Farms in this gray, because I'm loving this gray. And then we will do, let's see that that's totally adhering. So let me just make sure that is all the way down. And it is, okay. Then I think we're going to use a little yellow. Another little tiny squeegee segment will be great for that. Trying to decide if I want to do the yellow flower. Yellow flower, gray. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. And then this. And then we'll use the gray for those little swigglies. And maybe we'll do the established in black. So we'll just bring in the color of those cute bees. What do you think? All right. So we're going to do the established in black so it kind of stands out a little bit from the words underneath. And I find the black is a little bit thinner, so be light-handed with the black if you can. And then use up this little gray here that we mixed. And it is so nice working with the inks. I don't have to worry about one area drying while I'm working on the next. There we go. And I have somehow avoided, I shouldn't jinx myself, getting ink on places where I didn't want it. Yeah, I think that looked really good. What do you guys think? So that is it. I think we are done with this darling banner. And once it's dry, we'll give it a heat set with my heat press. And we will, I believe, hang it and add a little bow. So I'll be sure to, I'll sit down here so you can see me. I will be sure to show a picture when it's all completed. But I thank you so much for joining me today. It was great to have you here. If any of these products are things that you're interested in purchasing, you can do so right on my website. So feel free to go ahead and visit me. Let's get rid of this here for a minute so you can see me again. Here we go. Feel free to go ahead and visit me on my website, which is chalkcouture.com/Timmy. Oh, so I'm a little warm. It was a warm project here to do. Must be getting a little warmer outside. I will be sure to post the information about heat setting to this article, so in case you have questions about that. And if you have any questions whatsoever about our Chalk Couture products, about our business opportunity, about coming to a class or purchasing products, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Happy to answer any of your questions. Hope you had a great night. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. And take good care, everybody. Bye.